Well, joining me is a gentleman who one day went to work and the furthest thing from his mind was being involved in harness racing. However, after 30 years, he continues to be involved in the industry. I caught up with Harry Fitzpatrick to have a chat about how it all began. Well, Harry, good to catch up with you. As I said, you went to work one day and the last thing from your mind was going to be involved in harness racing, and here you still are.
That's true. Yeah, I got a horse for painting a roof.
Well, how did that story come about?
I was on the roof painting the roof, and he said, "How much you want for the job?" I said, 500. He said, "I'll give you that mare." So I took the mare.
And what was that mare's name?
Yeah, Cup of Tea Lee. She was bush farmer's, the bull farmer's sister.
The Bull Farm. He was a wonderful horse at Harold Park. In fact, he was one of my favourites, and Ron Munock.
Yeah, he was a good horse. Yeah, I didn't know a lot of it. And then I got a mare, and she won about 10 trials. She ran second and third a couple of times, but she used to tie up bad. So I retired her at about 5 after she started at 3 or 3.5 or something. Right? So that was about it with her. And I bred a horse out of her. I bred Lovely Joe out of her. He won 10 races. Then I bred Crackerjack Joe out of her, and he won 20. And I bred a black mare, and I got it at home, and I bred a foal out of it. But I didn't race it because I never had the money to race it.
But you certainly did show a lot of patience, though. It took you a long while to win a race.
Oh, pig-headed. That's it, mate, pig-headed, you know. Yeah.
So how long was it?
Oh, it took probably 20 years before I won a race. Then I was involved with Buddy Spider, and he was good 'un. Crackerjack Joe was a good 'un. This fella's a reasonably money spinner, and I hope the new foal will be, for a reason. I got a 4-reason foal that's beautiful.
Well, they certainly are going exceptionally well.
You ought to see the foal. It's something else to look at, but you don't know till you hit the track, mate.
That's for sure. Now, as far as Menangle is concerned, so Harry, you've never wanted to drive yourself?
No way. Yeah, I just train him. I drive him on the track when I break them in mostly, then I give them to a breaker inner after, and then I have a bit of a game training them, don't I? Because it's too expensive to give them to anybody.
Now, as far as Dunno Joe is concerned, the horse you're here tonight, a very special young man is behind the naming of this horse.
Yeah, he's special, all right. He's the happiest kid in the world, and he couldn't talk till he was 7. And he used to say, every time you asked him, somebody say Dunno. So we just named the horse after Dunno.
Right. Speaking of your grandson Carter, and of course also your grandson Cooper, you're proud of those two boys.
Oh, they're both good boys, yeah.
And Carter's going exceptionally well now.
Yeah, he's going real well. The other bloke's going well, and Carter, well, he can talk now. He's in 9th class, like high school, so, you know, who'd known he'd have got there when he couldn't talk at 7? I mean, he couldn't talk at all. He's got cerebral palsy, so, you know, he can't play sports, which holds him back, which he wants, but that's life, isn't it?
Well, no wonder that Dunno Joe's such a try then.
Yeah, well, if it takes after him, it is. Yeah, he's a good little boy. He wakes up smiling, goes to bed smiling every night. He never has a bad mood.
Great attitude for life. And as far as working is concerned and painting roofs, you're still involved in that particular trade?
One here and again. I might paint a iron roof if I can get it, but I try not to paint tile roofs. Too much work in them, and you know, I can't get insurance like I used to either. Like I'm 74. If you ring up and ask them to insure you on the roof, they laugh at you. They tell you shouldn't even be climbing a ladder.
Harry, apart from your career as far as being involved as a painter and also in harness racing, you also served 2 years with the Army.
Yeah, I was in the Army for 2 years. I only stayed in Canungra in Queensland. We drove an ambulance and trained some soldiers and stuff up there with a staff sergeant, which was a lovely man, and you know, it was a good experience. But I didn't want them shooting at me, mate.
That was during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, that was just before they ended it. Yeah.
Well, hey, you've had a wonderful career so far in harness racing, and you're a bit of a vagabond.
Yeah, I've had a great life. I grew up on the road. Never had. Like I might have spent 4 years in school. I hated school, and we had a great life. Used to get up at dark, go to work, because you had to work. I worked from the time I was 8 till I was 12 or so, only for little bits, you know, like a bag of peas in the morning, a bag at night, and then back to school. But in the later on, when I turned 13, well, I left home and I worked for myself and haven't never collected the dole, never ever done, just always worked.
Been your own boss.
Been my own boss, and I'm pig-headed too, so
Well, Harry,
good bosses are pig-headed bosses, huh?
well, Harry, thank you for your service in the Army for those 2 years. Wonderful to meet you, and hopefully Dunno Joe can continue to give you a lot of joy.
Now, let's hope he runs a place.